Honestly, if there is one thing that I dislike, that I hate, that's small talk. And I don't use the word hate often. I don't like using it. But I need to describe kind of the magnitude of what I'm talking about. So why I dislike small talk, that is the subject of today. So welcome. If you're new here, I am Mindy and I post 2 videos each week. So make sure to subscribe. My content is always about self-development and all of the tools that I can offer for you to have a better life in every area of your life. All right, so small talk. What is that thing called small talk? Okay, so it's this kind of superficial conversation, the chit chat. You meet up your neighbor on the street and you say, hey, how are you doing? And the other one says, I'm good. And you say, I'm good as well. Oh, there is a nice sunny day, huh? And you respond, yeah, it's nice and sunny. It's a nice weather to drink a beer. And the other one says, yes, it's a beer weather, huh? I mean, what do you gain from it? Honestly, I don't think you gain much because, okay, you can gain that your neighbor drinks a beer, but probably you knew it, or probably that's just like the obvious thing that you're talking about in that moment. So I think the small talk is just being used in order to glue people together that shouldn't be kind of talking to each other. I mean, if we would delete small talk from the whole equation, people would be pushed kind of to think deeply, okay, am I going to talk to this person because I really want to talk with this person or not? Maybe we will be more selective kind of. Okay, we don't need to be not friendly with other people. I was going to use a bad word, but let's say not friendly. Okay, let me explain my own experience. So if you follow me for a while, you know I'm an extrovert. I scored an ENFP, Enneagram 7, so I kind of be more like, I like people and I like to talk with people. But that doesn't mean that I like to talk, like to use this small talk, chit chat thing that is superficial. So when I talk to people, I try to go deep, I try to get something out of their minds, out of what's happening in their lives, but not in a superficial way of, oh yeah, how is work? Yes, work is good. No, I want to know like what are they actually doing and what keeps them busy and why, I know that you cannot just do that kind of level of conversation when you just meet your neighbor in example, using the same example I just used. But perhaps you just need to stop for, instead of exchanging 3 sentences that mean nothing, you need to stop for a minute or 2, maybe 3-5 minutes, where you can actually exchange conversation or something meaningful with the other person. So that's the kind of conversation that I prefer to have, instead of, as I said, the other one I just mentioned. So small chat has the purpose, I think, to make things less awkward. So people can say, hi, how are you? And the other person can feel good, or you feel good about being kind and being warm to another person. But honestly, if you look inside, that's maybe is superficially kind and friendly, because inside you might not even feel comfortable while doing that. It feels, at least in my experience, please leave your comments below if you are also familiar with this feeling I have. So it feels for me awkward. It feels like, actually, I didn't even know that this was a thing, the small talk, until a few years, actually some years ago, that I noticed, this is my story with small talk, that I noticed that I was hanging out with a group of people with whom I felt uncomfortable quite often. And so this was actually a group of people, so colleagues or friends actually, of someone I was dating back then. So I had this relationship with this person. And then when I went to meet his friends or colleagues, it was always that I end up drained. And normally I do not end up drained unless I am or too much spending like time or energy on something, or if I don't like people, if I don't particularly enjoy the interaction. That's a better way to say it. But what happened though in that situation was that they were just talking about the superficial thing. It was all everything was just about just like, oh, and how is work? And I remember I was applying to jobs at that point. Oh yeah, and how many how do you say that in English? Let's say letters did you send? Oh, that's good. Okay, yes, I think you should, I don't know. I don't even remember, but it was all too superficial. So anyhow, I remember going home and feeling very drained. So I think the point here is when you eliminate small talk from the equation, when there is not that option, or when you're aware that that's making you uncomfortable, that you need to dive deep in and you need to feel that connection with another mind, with another person, when you don't use that, then you are forced to actually notice that this is not making me any good, this interaction, so I'd rather don't do it. And it might sound too radical if I say it like this, but I think that there is nothing better in life than taking care of yourself and of your needs. And honestly, if your needs, just like my needs, are those of having, being able to connect with someone, then you should revise if you are spending too much time. I mean, it's okay if sometimes we go through the small talk just briefly, but if it's something that is repetitive, as it was for me, it was like, I was in a situation where these people was most of the people that I had around for a while, for a long time. So I just felt like this is not the kind of people that I want to talk. This is not the kind of mind. And back then I didn't know about Myers-Briggs. But when I learned about Myers-Briggs and about that I'm an intuitive, and I also noticed that they are mostly sensors, not say anything wrong about it, but just say like the way how some people like to lead their conversations can tend to be more flat for an intuitive. It's just different. So I just noticed that didn't work for me, and that then is the moment when, if you're intuitive and you're put in a situation when you're talking with someone who doesn't kind of speak your language or who doesn't go deep, you feel tired and you feel like I just really hate this. So that's why I don't like small talk, because it pushes, it's a gate to like a pass to talk with people that you don't have much in common. It's a pass or the gate to engaging in conversations that you don't care about. But it's all about, you know, the social rules or the social norms. And I think, yeah, we shouldn't do that to ourselves, honestly. So I honestly, like what I did is like I stopped going to those parties slowly because I wasn't aware. But if now I'm aware, and if I go to a place where I notice that most of the people are like this, then I won't stick to those, but I will stick only to the ones that with whom I can really exchange. Because for me, it feels like it's a need to being able to not only talk about a subject, but to kind of break it down and find the soul to that which you are talking about. So I would like to hear about your experiences, so please leave the comments below. Remember that you can have one-on-one consultations with me. I use Myers-Briggs also to help you with any of the subjects that I talk on this channel. So make sure to check the information and the link in the description box. You can buy me coffees if you enjoy my content. I would really appreciate that. And remember to subscribe and to like this video. So see you next time.